Torah that we're saying should be Leilu her Neshama. We're going to start. This week is Parashat Pinchas. Everyone knows Pinchas committed a great act of kin'ah, of being zealous to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And through this, Pinchas merited to be Eliyahu Navi Zachor Latov. Zohar says, there's Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. Pinchas, the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron HaKohen. And this, the Zohar over here opens a whole big secret. Pinchas really did something that no one knew what to do. Halacha ve'en morin ken. That means the halacha is that in such a case, when you see a person committing such a sin in public, then for sure the halacha was to kill him. And Pinchas did the right thing. But it says halacha ve'en morin ken. That means it's halacha, but they don't. It's only if a person is so zealous, if they're so connected to Hashem, that they care so much that that's their natural reaction, then that's the right attitude. But if a person has to get himself angry now and do the right thing, then that means it's not for him. So that means that Pinchas acted from a very deep place of fighting for the honor of Hashem. And he did something that if he would have asked, they would have told him not to kill. But since it's an act of raw feeling for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that act was good. It's interesting that we have Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu is a great story. Aaron HaKohen had 4 sons, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Itamar. We know on the day of the Chanukat HaMishkan, the day that the Mishkan was finished, that day was a very, very happy day in the world. The Zohar says that day was the happiest day since the creation of the world, the day that took 10 crowns, very special day. And on that day, Nadav and Avihu also decided from a deep place of wanting to honor HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to do something that wasn't a mitzvah. They decided to bring an offer to Hashem, an incense offer, the offer of Ktoret. And this offer was not, the pshat was not accepted by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu killed them. There too, now these were big tzaddikim. Nadav and Avihu were very, very big tzaddikim. We learned that they were compared to Moshe and Aaron. And these neshamot of Nadav and Avihu, these 2 holy neshamot, when Pinchas, who was their nephew, when Pinchas went ahead and committed this great act of love and kin'ah for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and in this case, it was the right action to do. And therefore, the Zohar teaches us that the neshamot of Nadav and Avihu became a part of Pinchas, of Eliyahu. This is a big eye-opener for us to discuss a topic that's called Ibur Neshamot. Everybody knows that there's Gilgul Neshamot, reincarnation of souls. That means that a Neshama is sent into this world, into the physical dimension, into the hidden dimension. And it's given a body, it's given a physical vessel to live in with physical needs. And the person has a mission while he's alive. His mission is to take his world that he's in, that was given to him, and repair it and fix it and enlighten it, reveal the creator in his world. The person, chas v'shalom, goes through life, successful in every field, but failed to do what he came to do. And he's not a success, he's a failure. Because he failed his prime mission. And therefore, such a soul cannot enter its place of rest, must come back into this world in the secret of Gilgul, which we're not going to get into that right now. There's another similar type of soul reunion. It's not called Gilgul. That means that Gilgul, then the soul comes back into a new body. It partakes a part of all the mitzvot that this new body will do, and also chas v'shalom da'avirot. In Ibur Neshama, when a soul goes through a process of Ibur, and we'll explain, it's different. Ibur, which means pregnancy, similar to a pregnant woman who is one soul. But now this woman has inside of her another soul that's growing and going through the process of being created. Similarly, a human being during his life could merit that another soul joins his spirit, his soul. And when this soul joins, it only joins to take part of the mitzvot. If chas v'shalom, the person sins and this other soul says, I have nothing to do with them, and they leave. How does this work? How does one soul become a part of another soul? In Ibur, why does one soul choose to be involved right now with this person? Hari HaKadosh teaches us that if a person, every tzaddik, we know different tzaddikim had mitzvot that they were very connected to. Some tzaddikim were very connected to Shabbat or Oneg Shabbat or Tefillin. They did all the mitzvot, but they had a special love to Chesed or to whatever it is. And when a person living and then they live and this was their life and then they passed away, and now they're alive in Eretz Chaim in the real world. And when a person in this physical world awakens to do the same type of mitzvah and tries his best, and things are difficult for him, and he's trying and he wants and he feels driven, and he's trying to the best of his abilities, whether it's physical or financial or emotional, it doesn't make a difference, but he's exhorting his abilities and trying to do this mitzvah, and he reaches his limit. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his mercy, sends that neshama of that same tzaddik that loved that same mitzvah, and suddenly the person feels like he has extra power, extra strength. He feels like there's something helping him. There's inside of him an awakening, the strength suddenly, there's creativity. Things are working out, things are moving forward, there's a breakthrough. And this happens when we Ibur Neshama. This happens when a person's world is pure, because if it's not pure, the soul wants nothing to can't associate with that person. If a person's world is pure and holy and special, then other souls, even from early times, doesn't make from thousands of years, doesn't make a difference when that soul was here, could then come down and connect and give from its strength to the success of this mitzvah that this person is doing, because they're from the same root, it's the same mitzvah. This topic of a person receiving spiritual help from the Neshamot of Tzaddikim is a big reason why we go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, why we spend time going to the graves of Tzaddikim and davening over there. There's a concept, one second. Okay, sorry folks. So we were at Kivrei Tzadikim. The person goes to Kivrei Tzadikim. There's a concept that's called, it says in the Pasuk, Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam. The Neshama of a human, Neshama of Adam is a Ner, it's like a candle. And when you take one candle and you put it next to another candle, and they light each other up. And that's what happens when we go to Kivrei Tzadikim. When a person connects his nefesh to this Kivrei Tzadikim, that's another way of the tzaddik sending from his light, from his strength, into the world of this person that needs strength, that needs clarity. It's a very special, the Zohar, the whole Zohar is very, very special, but this is very special to us because anyone that's been to Mezhbuzh by the Baal Shem Tov, you remember that in the Baal Shem Tov shul, in the corner, there's the place where the Baal Shem Tov used to daven. And in the back, there's a little room where the Maggid used to daven. And on the wall, there's a Zohar. There's a plaque that's quoted from the Zohar. And it's this Zohar from this week's parasha that we're going to learn now. The Tanina, we learn, in a place, the geographic location, that a tzaddik sits and studies Torah. Right? Rabbi Shimon sat in Pki'in, Harizal sat in Tzfat, where the tzaddikim sit and learn Torah. Kad'iu ba'alma, pakid la'u atar va'iti le'legabe. The tzaddik visits that place after he passes away. וכל שכן כדשרן לגבי צדיקאי האחרונים לחדתה באתרא העומדת דאורייתא. Especially when other tzaddikim come to their place where they studied Torah, and now they're studying Torah. So now we're going to go a little bit into this. We're going to explain for the Ramak a little bit. Like we said, that in a place that a tzaddik learns Torah in his life, that place receives Kedusha, tremendous Kedusha. And we see a Bet Knesset, Bet Midrash, things that are objects of Kedusha, right? They were just buildings, and then you made them into a Bet Knesset, or you took parchment and you made it into tefillin. Now it's Kadosh. Because when the tzaddik studies Torah in that place, he purifies the whole place. And that Kedusha that comes to the place comes from the neshama of the tzaddik himself. Right? The tzaddik studies Torah with his neshama, and he purifies the whole place. Especially if in that place the tzaddik revealed new Torah, chidushei Torah. Because those chidushim We learn in the Zohar and Bereshit that when a tzaddik studies Torah and he has a chidush in that Torah, when he learns something new, a new idea, a new concept, a new understanding, that chidush, that new Torah that he learned, creates a new heaven and a new earth. Shamayim v'aretz chadashim. So therefore, since that tzaddik in this place said the Torah that created these worlds, so in that place there's a reality of kedusha that never leaves that place, and connected to the neshama of the tzaddik. And this tzaddik at certain times will come into this physical world and visit the places that were purified by him, because there's parts of his neshama there, and he comes to renew the parts of his neshama from time to time. Especially when someone else comes to that place and is learning the Torah of that tzaddik, so then right away it's the same type. And then that kedusha, that Torah that you were learning today, awakens the original time that the tzaddik originally brought down that Torah. And that time that originally, because we know that when a person studies Torah of a tzaddik, siftotav dovevot bakever, his lips move in the kever, and his neshama awakens in Shemayim, and runs, the neshama of the tzaddik runs down to see who is awakening him, who's moving his lips, who's studying his Torah. And he finds, look, it's this person. They're learning my Torah. Wow. And then this is the Zohar here as a story of Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, that these two Tanaim were learning Torah, and he came after he passed away, and he kissed them. So my friends, we see that the borders between the worlds are open. Souls are going up and down. Things are happening all the time. We see that a person, through his actions, when a person is devoted and focused in a real area in Avodat Hashem that's driven from within, a person feels a very strong drive to do this type of work or this type of, and he's trying hard and it's hard for him, but he really feels driven and he continues really, really hard. Then we see that, first of all, it's noticed in all the worlds, Borolam and all the tzaddikim, and everyone sees what a Jew is doing, what a Jew is trying to do. And we're all on the same team, so everyone's interested in the success of every individual because it's one mission. And when a person is sincere and they try their best, we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends them this help. Pinchas ze Eliyahu. That Pinchas, that was Moser Nefesh, the Gemara teaches us that Pinchas, in this act that he did, that he went in to fight for the honor of Hashem, really gave up his life, because he could have been killed. And according to the Zohar, he really did give up his life, and his neshama left him, and the neshamot that came back, and the neshama of Nadav and Avihu. These two souls that were mamash, this Indian of fighting for the honor of Hashem, of doing things that were not commanded. For them, it wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right thing. But when you see when Pinchas did that, they joined him. And therefore, a person has to know that all the deep inclinations that I have are not from nowhere. They stem from my being, from the essence of my being. A person should listen to those inner voices and follow even though it seems impossible. Because the Borei Olam, the creator of the world, is not expecting from us any results. He's expecting from us to really sincerely devote our life and our time and our thinking to understand him and to serve him the best that we can. Abba leta'er mesayim beyado, like we always speak about this. When a person comes to purify, how much help comes to him to help him purify. And this is one of the forms, is the souls of the tzaddikim, the shmot tzaddikim. And we see the tremendous zchut that a person has when they go to a kever of a tzaddik or to a place where the tzaddik was when he was alive, but knesset tzaddik, or does whatever it is. And he does the avodah of the tzaddik. Then the tzaddik comes to him to help him, to guide him, to bless him. This is a very important topic that I wanted to bring down from the parasha. Very small, but now we're going to talk about Shiva Asar Tammuz. Tammuz, the month of Tammuz. Tammuz normally goes with Av. In Tammuz, seemingly, we don't have any Yom Tov, any holiday. We have a fast day that's coming tomorrow, Shiva Asar Tammuz. What happened? What makes Shiva Asar Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz, a special day? So the Mishnah teaches us in Ta'anit, 5 things happen on Shiva Asar Tammuz. The first thing that happened was the day that the first Luchot, Moshe Rabbeinu came down, he went up to Shemayim on Shavuot. Came down 40 days later, Yudayim B'Tammuz, Am Yisrael was involved in the Chet HaEgel, and Moshe Rabbeinu breaks the Luchot. Even though we see that this day is already set for breaking. The Gemara says that Megalgalim Chova Yom Chayav, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu moves the difficult things, the bitter things that have to happen in the world to bitter days. Every bitter thing comes on a bitter day also. But this day of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, that Rizal teaches us, is La'atid Lavo in the future, when Beis HaMikdash will be built, B'mira B'Yamenu Amen, very soon, in the Geulah Shlema. Shiva Asar B'Tammuz really is going to be a Yom Tov, a great day of celebration, a great day of light, great day of revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to his people and unification and connection. Why? Because what was meant to be on this day was the giving of the first Luchot. To understand the difference between the first Luchot and the second Luchot. Moshe Rabbeinu goes to Shamayim and there's Matan Torah, Kolot, Brakim, revelation that happened to the Am Yisrael. Never claimed to be afterwards. No nation ever claimed to have a mass revelation like this either. It's beyond bluff. You can't fake such a thing. Moshe Rabbeinu goes into the heavens for 40 days. And he comes back with Luchot. The first Luchot were written by Hashem. And even though the second luchot that were written afterwards by Moshe and brought down also have 10 commandments and also have the same mitzvot, there are some changes in the words. However, the difference between the first luchot and the second luchot is night and day. Night and day. First luchot was Torah that was meant to understand by everyone without any questions, without any misunderstandings. Second Torah, the second luchot is the Torah that we have today. Machloket, kushiyah, so many questions, so many uncertainties. The Torah that you have to toil and work and try hard to understand. This is the Torah of the second luchot. Really, on this day was the Matan Torah of the first luchot, which is Chag LaHashem Achar. Everyone knows when the Erev Rav came to Aaron and asked him to make an egel, build us the golden calf. He said, tomorrow will be a Yom Tov, Chag LaHashem Achar. And the Arizal teaches us that this is talking about La'atid Lavo. Machar, in the great future, Shiva Asar Tammuz will be a Chag. We know that these days that are coming up now, these 3 weeks, in the Pshat, and the Pshat and Shulchan Aruch, these are days that a person has to be more cautious. The luck, the mazal of Am Yisrael, it's not the mazal of Am Yisrael. Zalachot, about how to behave and things to do and not to do in these 3 weeks, especially in the week of Tisha B'Av. And that's Al Pi Pshat. We know Al Pi Chassidut and Al Pi Sod that these days, these 3 weeks, which are weeks of mourning, where Am Yisrael cries and sits on the floor and mourns the destruction of the connection of the world with its creator. We mourn the selfish decisions that we did as people that drove us so far, that destroyed our relationship with the creator, where the creator had to burn the home, to burn our common home, and go elevate himself, his revelation, into the higher dimensions. We're left in the physical dimension. Every day gets darker and darker. Curse grows every day. The distance grows every day. The pain grows every day. Al Pi Chassidut and Kabbalah, everyone knows the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. There's infinite secrets in this holy name, the whole world, the whole creation. One of the aspects of it is that Borei Olam, the creator of the world, is constantly giving his creation, creating everything. And he creates in creation sweet, nice, kind, good feeling, pleasure, health, all kinds of good things. And he also creates bitter and end and stopping. And it would seem that when the creator treats the creation with kindness and beauty, then we would say that that's the aspect of the chesed of Hashem. That we're noticing the kindness and the good and the love of the creator. And when the creator deals with the world with hardship, with judgment, we would think that we're experiencing the judgment of the creator. However, really the opposite is true. When the creator gives good to the world, good that we can notice, it's true that it's good. But when the creator gives pain and suffering to his creation, to his kids. That attitude stems from the deepest place of love within the Creator. Like it says in the Pasuk, "Et asher ye'ahav Hashem yochiach." Creator loves someone, the one that he loves, then he rebukes him. He sets him straight. If you don't love someone, you see them taking it this way and that way, making big mistakes. You may try to say something, but if not, you're on your own. When you love someone so much, and you see them making mistakes, you can't stand back. You'll even cause them pain and suffering, till to bring them to a point where they'll eventually recognize the danger and the negative place that they're in and awaken to choose life. And by that, you're doing them the biggest favor. These 3 weeks that are called days of Ben HaMetzarim, everyone knows this is called Rodfea Isigua Ben HaMetzarim. Anyone who chased her Rodfea, could find her Ben HaMetzarim. We know the word Rodfea divides into 2 words, Rodef Yud K. Anyone who chases the letters of Yud and the letters of Hey, the deeper understandings of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the deeper love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anyone that wants to understand the deep love and the relationship between the Creator and His creation. And these 3 weeks is the time to understand the aspect of pain, to look at the pain and to understand that deep, deep, deep in this pain, deep in this galut, it originates by the Creator, not from a place of hatred, not from a place of revenge. Chas v'shalom. These are aspects that the Creator does not deal with us at all. It generates some place of deep, deep, deep love and deep wisdom of how to cause the necessary pain and wake up the necessary ways, to wake up my kids, to realize who they are and what life is about. Not to waste life sleeping and chasing dreams and comforts and temporary nothingness. The days that to really understand this attitude are the days of the 3 weeks. And this is it's not a coincidence that in these times the Luchot broke. The Luchot breaking and then bringing the second Luchot, we're not going to get into this now, but this symbolizes what we learn in Kabbalah many times in the Midrashim, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu breaks the worlds, first broke the worlds and then fixed them. This is part of the reason that in a chuppah and a chatuna, we break a cup under the chuppah, we break a vessel, and then we build a life. The whole, it's not for now. But just to conclude this topic, that these 3 weeks that are coming up now are very, very, very special, holy times. The Arizal teaches a special kavanot and Amidah, mamash, it's a whole. And one of the main things that I think that we should strengthen in these 3 weeks, of course, in Torah Mitzvot, but mainly in having patience for each other, having patience for one another. You know, Avodat Hashem divides into 2 general categories. There's man and God, and man and man. The first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of sins of man to God. The second Beit HaMikdash that was destroyed, until today we're in that destruction, was destroyed of sins of man to man. And these days, it's especially important to focus on having more rachamim, more mercy, bringing more mercy into our relationships. Everyone's surrounded with relationships. We don't always have patience for everyone in our life and every relationship in our life. Some people talk too much, some people talk too little, some people this, and it doesn't make a difference. Let's make room in our hearts. Let's expand our hearts to give more patience to the relationships around us. More listening, more smiles. In our heart, let's have more mercy on people. Let's try to understand their point of view. And just be nicer. Just be nice people. So, my friends, thank you. We could open up for some short questions if there are.
Chazako Baruch, bro. Beautiful, beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Baruch Hashem.
Hey, so if someone has any questions, they can unmute themselves and turn on their video. Let's see. I think it was very clear. Beautiful class.
Not a question, but thank you so much, Rap. Thank you for everything.
Adam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Baruch Hashem.
It's been very nice to take these classes. Thank you so much.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. I'm happy you're enjoying it.
Thank you.
Okay, my friends.
Amazing, Rap. Okay, so we'll be in contact and thank you so much. Chazako Baruch.
We'll be in touch.
Bye.